We are on the busiest travel day, aside from maybe rivaling the way home, right? And outside on our SPID Skycam hasn't looked too hectic out there. So if you're going over the river and through the woods to Abuela's house for some holiday grub, it looks like it's an easy ride around town, and I think the weather is going to really help out if you're doing any more extensive traveling around Texas. We'll get to that coming up in your full forecast. But yep, sweater weather is in fashion for not only today, but also your Thanksgiving Thursday. We're going to talk about a cooler start for tomorrow morning. But here we go. It's 67 degrees right now at the airport, 70 in Beeville as well as Alice, 67 already in Kingsville. Those temperatures falling, and there's still a bit of a breeze, but those strong winds we saw earlier today are on their way back down, so we won't have to contend with very strong bites in that cold we're expecting for tomorrow morning. But how much warmer will we be as we head into the afternoon, and will we see any more rain? I'll fill you in ahead.
All right, Steph. Well, the holiday travel rush is on, and if you're planning, including to drive, we'll be prepared to pay a bit more at the pumps. Now, the average price for a gallon of regular unleaded here in Corpus Christi has gone up by 25 cents since Monday. That's according to the AAA. Today's price is $2.69 a gallon. On Monday, it was $2.44 a gallon. The AAA says gas prices will fluctuate, but should stay on the low side during the holiday week. 82 million people are expected to travel over the holiday week. 6 million of those will be flying. The FAA says this Thanksgiving travel period is expected to be the busiest in 15 years. Here at the Corpus Christi International Airport, it's been pretty calm. Airport officials tell us when traffic has been steady. Now, travelers we spoke to told us they were surprised by how easy it was to get through the terminal.
We flew out of Dallas, DFW on Sunday, and it was already hectic and busy with all the travelers. And then I was telling my son heading back, I was like, we're gonna have to get to the airport early. And there's about 50 people here, so it's not too bad.
Well, Sunday is expected to be the most congested travel day at airports as people head home from their holiday trips. If you're driving, the AAA says the best time to hit the road Sunday is before 10 a.m. The Department of Transportation is asking air travelers dress better and be more civil while flying. They've launched a video campaign to try and restore civility in the air. The Department of Transportation calling the golden age of travel, or at least how flying used to be. It was a time when suits, ties, and nice attire were a commonplace among travelers. Now today, you'll see everything from suits and ties to jeans and a t-shirt or even pajamas. Department of Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy asked travelers to dress with respect.
I would encourage people to maybe dress a little better, which encourages us to maybe behave a little better. Let's try not to wear slippers and pajamas as we come to the airport.
The heart of the campaign is really just asking travelers to be nice to those around you and airline staff. According to the Department of Transportation, there has been a 400% increase in unruly passenger reports since 2019. Now, so far this year, there have been 1,400 unruly passenger reports. Well, there's going to be some changes to city services because of the Thanksgiving Day holiday. City Hall and the city call center will be closed tomorrow and Friday. All public libraries will also be closed tomorrow. Now, there will also be no trash or recycling pickup on Thursday. If that's your pickup day, it will change to Saturday. Now, the Lozano Golf Course and the Oso Golf Course will be open tomorrow from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. Collier Pool and the Natatorium will be closed tomorrow. Corpus Christi Gym and Ben Garza Gym will also be closed on Thursday. Also closed tomorrow are all recreation and senior centers. An RV fire on the 5900 block of County Road 73 sent one person to the hospital this morning. That fire was reported just after 10 a.m. The RV was in flames when fire crews arrived, and the fire was spreading towards some nearby propane tanks and a storage unit. Firefighters were able to save the second building, but the RV was destroyed. One man was hospitalized for smoke inhalation. The fire is believed to have started inside the RV, then spread quickly because of dry grass conditions.
Well, even though we've had lots of rain over the last, 4 or 5 days, the grass fire started and started spreading. So it just goes to show that it's still dead and dry, even though we got water on the ground.
The condition of the man who was taken to the hospital is not known.
Health experts say flu cases are on the rise. I'm Alexis Scott with details on this growing concern.
You're watching Chris 6, part of the Scripps News Group.
As flu season begins, health experts say they've already seen an increase of flu cases in patients. I'm Alexis Scott, your Bay Area neighborhood news reporter, speaking with the Corpus Christi Nueces County Public Health Director about this growing concern and how neighbors can prevent the spread. Health experts say the flu has started to spread earlier this year than usual. Last week, the Corpus Christi Nueces County Public Health District reported at least 1,406 flu cases. The week prior shows nearly 1,272 cases. That's about a 10.5% increase. Public Health Director Dr. Anita Kurian says her team is seeing the impact.
This year, especially this year compared to recent years, we've seen an early surge and a noticeably rapid weekly increase in flu activity in our community.
While flu season begins in the fall, the CDC reports flu activity peaks between December and February. Dr. Kurian believes the number of flu-like cases here in Nueces County could increase during the holidays. And the most vulnerable patients?
The young children, older individuals, pregnant women, these are the groups that are typically at high risk for flu-related risks and complications.
Experts encourage people to get the flu vaccine to prevent spreading the virus. And a concern that many people have, does the flu vaccine actually give you the flu? Doctors from the American Medical Association have an answer.
The flu vaccine will not give you the flu. Okay, we hear that so many times. So I want to say it again. The flu vaccine will not give you the flu. It is a safe, effective, and preventative mechanism for actually getting the flu and having even worse symptoms from the flu.
And Dr. Kurian agrees, saying the vaccine doesn't make you sick, but it does need time for the body to respond.
It takes about 2 weeks for your body to build protection against the flu once you get the vaccine.
Health experts add they expect to see the number of flu cases increasing over the next couple months. If you're looking for a location to receive a flu vaccine, we'll have details on christv.com. Near the Bay Area, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Alexis Scott, Chris 6 News.
All right, Alexis, thank you. Well, what's fact and what's fiction when it comes to the flu? Well, here's a look at some common myths. Here's one we've all heard. You can catch the flu from the vaccine. Well, that's false. The vaccine is made from components of the flu virus that cannot transmit infection. Also false is the idea that healthy people don't need to get vaccinated. Another myth is that pregnant women can't get the flu shot. The flu shot is highly recommended for pregnant women because pregnancy can cause changes that increase the risk of flu. And one final myth you may have heard is that you don't need to get the flu shot every year. Again, that's false. The flu vaccine is updated every year to protect against the most common virus. Well, coming up later in the newscast, some of the star attractions in the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade were getting ready today for their big moment in the spotlight.
But hey, we appreciate you sharing these views with us, especially those of you who picked up on more rainfall, because looking at some of the rainfall totals at our official reporting stations, we didn't see as much action as what we saw in these Coastal Bend Weather Watcher photos and videos. So we'll show you now what those totals look like. Thank you, by the way, for submitting your view from your neighborhood. We appreciate it. And, you know, like I said, it really does help to fill in the gaps, because at our official reporting stations at the airport, CCIA only recorded 0.06 of an inch. That's the same reading in the Bluff at NAS Corpus Christi, 0.04 of an inch in Robstown. The winner, as far as official numbers go, Hebronville, and they got the first round of rain, 1.62 inches from last night's storms. But the color on the map shows us that we kind of filled in the blanks here across much of San Patricio County, northern Jim Wells County, southern Live Oak County, with radar estimating anywhere from as much as a ½ inch to possibly 1.5 inches of rainfall with some of those more stubborn, prolonged storms. So we're not looking at any rainfall as we head on into your Thanksgiving Day, but there is more in the 7-day forecast. Today, we saw a nice change of pace. Of course, that rain triggered by a cold front and these cooler temperatures we've been feeling today, a result of that too. So finally, we're a little closer to where we'd normally expect our temperatures to be for this time of the year. And while we woke up to 62 degrees in Corpus Christi this morning, it is going to be much chillier tomorrow morning, probably about 10 degrees cooler, and pretty spot on with what we expect for the morning low temperature, 54 for a day like today and 73 for an afternoon like today. We came in close, 75. But yes, continuing to chip away at our rainfall deficit for the year. These little bits do help, especially because we're in the dry season. We don't expect much. So if you are making those Thanksgiving plans, what should you know about in the forecast? Maybe you're still trying to nail down a couple of last minute details. Maybe you're heading out the door this evening to do some traveling or very early tomorrow morning. Here locally, we are going to enjoy that cooler weather, at least for a couple of days before a change comes this weekend briefly. And another cold front brings us back down to some cooler weather. But unlike last year where we had a lot of chaos in the forecast, a lot of changes, it's pretty simple here. Colder tonight, sunshine tomorrow, windy on Friday ahead of our next weather maker, which is some wet forecasts ahead for us that'll carry us into the first few days of December. Temperatures have already started to fall since we've moved past sunset. Most of us in the 60s in some form or fashion, only those inland neighborhoods holding on to the 70s. So if you're heading out for that dog walk tonight, you might want to wear a sweater. Our pups today, Beerus and Broly. I know these pups, they're Chris 6 family pups, and I know that they are going to be walked by folks who are bundled up tonight too. We stay in the 60s through about midnight, and then after midnight, those temperatures will be falling. And without humidity, feels very fresh outside, but humidity will slowly make a comeback heading on into the weekend. That's enough water for when our next cold front comes through to bring us another opportunity for rainfall. And while we'll have a generally drier situation, I think we're still going to have some of that moody weather that we typically tend to see in